Charlie, dear cheddar baby. As you can see now, I'm coming to you today for the first time, not from Cactus Creek. I'm live from the Achimota Zoo. This one specifically, Cheddar Zoo. Look at how close. Look, Mui. Cheddar Kumio. Anyway, I think I've given it up already. I'm hanging out with a man they call Cheddar or Kwame Bediako or Freedom Jacob Caesar. Put your hands together. Show some love for the man Cheddar. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. There. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Have a seat.
You
Let
have
me
a
welcome
seat.
you to your own joint here. Folks, the man is in the house. We're taking a short commercial break. When we come back, I'm talking to you from the zoo. What else can you expect? Sit down. Call a friend to call a friend to call a friend and say, finally, KSM, talk to Cheddar. Oh, Cheddar, oh, Cheddar, oh, Cheddar. Today I'm with Cheddar. Call your friends and call your friends. Cheddar, all you can get me to come and sit before lions. Oh. Nobody say, KSM, come. I want you to interview. I want you to interview me before your lions, man. My goodness. Anyway, by the way, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here.
It's good to have you in my zoo. Welcome to my zoo.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's actually the zoo for the nation, but privately built by myself. The story of my tigers is not because I wanted to own tigers. I wanted Ghana to be the first country that will have tigers for West Africa, East Africa, and North Africa.
You're keeping them as pets, are you?
Not as pets, but I feel like this is the beginning of us creating some of the biggest safaris, and maybe making it like a park, an eco park, where we can build hotels, water bodies, and have some water parks as well. Everything about me is about investment and development. So this is my investment.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. But I think in a couple of days, we are away from a very, what I call, consequential election in this country. And for the first time, we have a young man as part of the race, And let me ask you this quickly. There's been lots of talk, Penifona Dawson, we are tired of the old people. We need young blood. We need young blood. We need young people. And then you emerged. Did you hear that conversation and you decided, well, maybe I should try this time? Or this is something you had planned already and it's just a coincidence?
No, actually, I'm not the type that follow or copy things and just use that to build my career or to have a purpose in life. I just look at the environment. I look at situations. I look at crisis. I look at problems and see how I can be of help. What solutions do I have for problems? Because that's how I've built my wealth. That's how I've built my image, my character, just by understanding that I came to meet problems and I cannot run away from it as long as I'm alive. Yeah. So my inspiration came from there.
Okay. So what particularly triggered you to say, I'm going to throw my hat in, I'm going to run for president? That's not an easy thing to do. Well, of course, you have the finances to do it, but outside of that, what was it? What was that one inciting incident that triggered you to do this?
Well, there were a couple of things. One of them was a dream. The other one was my instincts conflicting with my courage, making me take a decision, which is something that I always do. Decisions shape your life 5 years from now, or it can either destroy you or make you. But a choice is a dream. People have choices, and they never will be able to afford for their choice. Until they take a decision, and out of that decision the choices will come out. So I don't probably want to sit here telling you everything about my dreams and what happened and everything, but when I sort of summarize everything that has happened in the past 18 months of my life, I think it's a calling.
It's a calling?
Yeah.
From?
Well, it's a calling as in my purpose of being here. We all have a moment that we're called to do something we like. I'm sure you were called at some point to be a presenter, or
I was called to interview you,
and also you understand that this is what you stand for. I mean, people cannot easily take KSM from you because it's established within your knowledge within your own sort of contribution to the society. And you're not doing it just because they have to pay you, although the money counts. But you're doing it because you also think that this is the way that you impact people.
It's a purpose.
Exactly. So that's what a calling, I feel like a calling is. And I'm saying this on TV because some people might hear the word calling and then they'll be waiting for God to call them on the mobile phone or something to happen. But
Yeah.
it's just signs, Yeah, I had a dream, and after the dream, I had a number called 7. And then, after that, I woke up and told my wife I was going to do this. I'm going to form a political party, and then I'm going to become a president. And then after being the president, I'm going to move forward, and then I'll become a leader for Africa. And my wife looked at me like, okay. So for a minute, I asked myself, well, does she think I'm crazy? And she did confess later that she thought that it was that fresh craziness from dream, that she thought that maybe after a day or two it would go.
You wake up from the dream and say, oh, honey, it was just a dream.
Yeah, but then after 7 days, she accepted. She
okay.
realized that no one was going to stop me.
Okay. So let me ask this. Are you, because you have filled the gap, there's no question about that. And many of the youth are saying, this is what we're waiting for. You have no idea how they've been hounding me on my page to bring cheddar. So today, cheddar is here.
Yeah,
anyway.
And it's for free, by the way. I didn't charge him.
I wanted to charge him.
Oh, no. I mean, we can only pay for facilitation. But I think what you're doing for Ghana is great.
Thank you. So I'm thinking, right now you have said you had this dream, and you're going to be president, and after becoming president, then you're moving on to the next step. This is the question I want to ask you. Have you just introduced yourself to the electorate? Say, Chele, Cheddar, I'm around. So this is my introduction. But this time I don't feel that I'm going all the way to be president. But Messiamba. Or is this it? Are you coming?
Look, I don't measure myself this way. I think maybe that's why I'm a little bit different from people. When you find me in the fire, and the fire is burning, as long as I'm surviving, whatever that is making me survive in that heat, I will expand it. I would take over, And so when I come to industries, I don't come to just announce myself and go and hide again. I am here to invade the industry. I am here to change the narrative of politics. I'm here to establish a legacy that would make a generational leaders be breeded again. So I'm breeding a new society in governance, and it takes branding, commercial, national branding, which politicians will call it campaign, for people to understand your message, and I think I came with the message, but everybody wanted to find out who the messenger was because I was wearing a mask, and I was telling them that the next generational leaders are coming. Yeah. So it's not like it's planned.
Yeah, and the mask thing was quite an exciting entry into the whole race, and we'll come to that. But before that, I just want to find out from you. You said that the campaigning and everything is part of building the brand. That I'm here to change the narrative. I think to an extent that we are going into an election and we have a 44-years-old person. That alone has changed the narrative. I'm saying, is that the narrative you're looking for, that you ran when you were 44? No. Or the narrative is that you were sworn in after you just emerged and did what you had to do, and all of a sudden you were sworn in as president? What's the narrative?
I think there is more borderlines and layers in narrating stuff. Now, political principles or narratives in Africa, it's somehow embedded in our culture system where it's become more original and maybe lack of a better word, maybe I should use, if not regional, I should use tribal. Our politics is falling within those things and the party itself. So people only stand for, you have to be an Ashanti or Northerner to be in politics, and you when you're going to look for a job, you have to belong to a particular party before you are accepted. So this is the increments around the narrative of politics. You know, it's not like the Western world. I feel like we should commercialize it a bit. We should change the principles so it suits the new sort of society that it's coming, the new faces. And that's what I'm doing. I'm standing for my generational change. It's the youth. They need that change. They want to have a voice. They want to be a part of democracy. They want to understand democracy. They want to be a part of democracy. They just don't want a party.
Okay. Is it that they have not always understood that even now they are a part of the democracy? Maybe they don't feel a part of it, but they are. So is it that they don't understand that they are a part of the democracy and that your entry will teach them that you are a part?
Well, KSM, I'll tell you this. There could be a university with people that go to the university, but in the university, there are people, teachers, who have children that live within the university that don't have a clue about what they teach. You see, if you want to be a part of something, you need to be taught. You need to be a part of it. You need to understand what democracy is. Does Ghanaians know that democracy is practicing your right, or democracy is an exchange of money for a vote? Because if that's what we are as a country, then we're being misled and misinformed. Because when you go to the Western world, democracy is about demonstrating your right of vote. So your voice becomes a part of your national governance. And if something is not going too well from the health sector or educational sector or job sector, everyone hammers on it. And then the leader is forced to fix it. But when you come to Africa, people can talk about their problems, economy, this, all of that. The concentration is on the party. It's not on the country and the people. Democracy means that you have put everything else aside. There's no more monarchism. There's no more other sort of ruling powers or authorities working except for using the democratic constitution to govern the nation. And I don't think as a country we're practicing
What is
it
your
right.
impression now about the Ghanaian understanding of democracy? You are now actually...
I just told you that an average Ghanaian thinks that pay me money and I'll give you my thumb. That is what it is here.
Yeah.
Okay, if there is any other one, maybe you can educate me a little more. But that's what I know.
So leading up. So are you finding it difficult? Because I've heard that you have decided I won't pay you to like me. I won't pay you to do anything. Listen to me and look at my policies and let me know whether you want to follow me or not.
But
how are you changing? Are people following you because they're really interested in the narrative, or are you giving us some small look of you?
I mean, look, if I'm a leader and I say I don't want to do something, I shouldn't pass behind people and do it. That doesn't make me a leader. A leader is someone who is very courageous about their decisions and someone who don't let their people down. It's not someone that have everyone following them because they give them money. A leader is someone that actually goes to people when they have to humble themselves, to go to them and find out their needs and find a way to help them. Okay? And then the people decide to demonstrate or talk about the greatness in that person. So eventually they will be labeled as a leader. Okay? I don't think we're practicing that leadership in Ghana. You know, people are buying, like I think we were having a conversation earlier, and you said that people's conscience is for sale. You know, people are buying people's consciousness. Okay, people are buying people's greatness. They're buying their future. And then in return, they're not giving them anything. Okay, so the whole country is talking. They're talking, but they don't have a solution for what they're talking about.
How big of a problem do you see that? Talking about an institutionalized problem where conscience is, unfortunately, people offer their conscience to the highest bidder. How much of a problem is that? And in terms of your particular campaign and narrative, how much is it impeding Or have people just grown to understand that cheddar has a way?
I don't think, seeing it, I'm compelled to consider it for myself. It's more for the country. Whatever decision I've taken, it's not for myself. It's because now I'm a humanitarian philanthropist who wants to lead. So it's not about me. It's about the people. It's about their worries. So if what they're doing is affecting the people, what I'm thinking is that 10 to 20 years down the line, that affection, or should I say whatever that is affecting the people, could become more than what it is today. It could be death. It could be some sort of massacre in the country. It could bring a tribal confusion. It could bring a lot of national misunderstanding. So if you are a thinker and you think about your investment today, which is not just the business, but you think about your wife, your children, your family, the land that you belong to, and see that is moving towards a chaotic future, you want to do something to contribute so that can be reversed, and then the amount of people that can be affected will be saved. And that's just my thinking spectrum.
Okay. How tough is that reversal process?
Very, very, very tough. But I also think that everyone that runs away from difficulty will not understand life. Life is full of difficult things. But if you make yourself a difficult person, you will live a difficult life.
Okay.
You just need to face the difficulties
Okay.
and find solutions for it, and make it smoother and better for people. And that's
Okay.
just...
Okay. And since you had mentioned before that you are in this for the long haul, to be president and beyond, and that is what your goal is. Regarding that, how much of a difficulty is the status quo imposing on you in terms of how we think, the cultural attributes, how we are brought up, the tribal issues? How are those particular incidents affecting you and the narrative you want to?
I don't let it affect me. Those are not things to affect me. In fact, I don't want to be affected by things that I'm ready to face and find solutions for. I just think that if I were to explain myself to each person or everyone, I wouldn't be able to do it till I die. So I need to take a much more stronger decision that gives me a national power to control certain regions or a part of the country, or even the entire country, to be able to contribute, my knowledgeable empowerment and a great wisdom of governance, where, you can make a change. Like, I'm not here to change myself. What people ask me, I don't change. I'm only here to change the world, because I'm not going to leave the world as I came to meet it. The only way I'll be remembered is if I impact society and change the world. So the things that I change in this world is what I'll be remembered by. And that's what is going to make my absence get felt. And so I am one of those thinkers.
Okay. Let take me back a little bit, Since when have you been this thinker? Go back to your early childhood. Were there any particular incidents or experiences with parents, friends, whatever, that you look back on and say, those were the beginnings of me as a thinker and thinking differently? Do you have...
Yeah, I've always been this way. So even I try to tell people about my story when I tell them about my hen and cock story, where my father gave me the money, gave my brother the money. It's just that my money was more than my brother's. And my brother was older than me. So I gave my father the money back. And he asked me why. And I said, well, you should give it to my older brother. And I would take what he gave my older brother, because he's older, I'm younger. I was trying to tell my father to be fair. Okay, that's the kind of person I am. And then when he gave me the same amount now, and gave my brother the same amount, I quickly compromised. See, my brother wouldn't understand why I did that, and I was 8 years old. I had read the story of Joseph, and quickly I was trying to protect myself. Even though the man was making a mistake to show my brother that I like you more than him. That's what he said by giving me the money. And I refused it because I thought, hey, I'm not going to be Joseph after this. Because once you let him know that you like me more and you leave me and my brother with my mother, I don't know if he's going to sell me or if he's going to poison me. So please do what is right. Okay, now the point I'm trying to make is that I have always been this person that I think being fair, being firm, being courageous, and being knowledgeable, it's very important. Now you have people like Beyonce, and she's a musician. You never understand why she does what she does so well. It's because she started singing at the age of 8. You have Michael Jackson, 5 years old. She discovered herself. But I've been a leader since I was 8 years old. And some people give me different type of names. You know, they say, oh, he's a fashionista, or he's that. Look, even the clothes I wear, I'm sending you a message. I'm sending you a message from the way I dress to address myself. So you can see the sort of person that I am. You know, I think I'm the next marvelous story in Africa. You know, they've talked about the Superman, they've talked about the Iron Man, but I am different. I am that Freedom Jacob Caesar, the Prince of Africa character. I am that Nana Kwame Bediako, the corporate invader. And I am that cheddar, that money-making machine. But when you bring all these three things together, you find a mask. When I take the mask off, you see a character that is coming for whatever duopolies and nationalists and parties and all of that. It's a movie. So I'm leaving it. They just need to. They need to film it. You know,
I'm glad you're referring
together.
I'm glad you're referring to it as a movie.
It is.
And you're the scriptwriter.
I don't write. You see, I'm the author of my own story. But it's in the form of oratory. So I'm living it. I dictate the story. You tell it. You've got to be sharp and smart to benefit from
I'm trying
that.
to tell your story and say, well, this is what I think. You know, cheddar wants to have that kind of impact and approach it in such a way that everybody will have to, you know, step back and say, what is going on? And that's why cheddar came in a mask. I'm telling you a story. Let me tell you the story the way I see it.
Okay.
That's why cheddar came in a mask. Who is this? What's this mask? The new force, you know. And for me, it was part of your script that you have put down that if I want to make my movie captivating, this is how I'm going to start it. I'm going to come in a mask.
Okay,
Now tell me where I went wrong.
So let me tell you.
Yes.
First of all, a lot of people were saying that, oh, that's his shoulders. That's his pocket chief. That's this. So you think if I really, really didn't want anyone to suspect it's me, I would give them room to point their fingers? I wanted them to. I wanted them to know that, look, even though you can tell it's him, the doubt has given you such a strong suspicion that you're still kept in a suspense.
Well, I guess you're right, because there were people that were saying, oh, it's cheddar, cheddar. You know, people were saying it, you know. But is that part of the script?
It is. It is, because you need to understand that the Batman has come from afar. You need to know that Batman has arrived. He's coming to save the situation. But you're still saying to yourself, no, but I just saw the guy in the car park. He was wearing a suit. You know, this can't be the one in the uniform. I mean, you know, keeping people in a suspense. It's a beautiful realm. And I think God does that to us, human beings. He keeps us in a suspense. We don't even know how we will act when we get old. But he already knows. That I was crowned in my mother's womb. My mom told me this. And I took it. And I said, oh yeah, I was truly crowned in your womb. Then I'm a king for real. No one is going to take that from me.
So you're crowned as a prince or as a king or something?
Well, if you're a prince, you become a king. If you become a king, you can become an emperor. Okay, God is a king. And I think that the universe has created a lot of kings. You know, Michael Jackson was the king of pop music. Okay, you can be a king in every industry. You just need to take it to a higher level.
Are you a king of politics?
Well, I don't think so, because I don't really like politics. I'm here to, you know, change it, because there's politics in our education. There's politics at work. There's politics in your studio. There's politics in the church. Politics simply means policing your tics. You know, or you need to polish your ticks. Whatever that your ticks are, that I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. You said it. You have to make sure that
What are you a king of?
Well, I think maybe I will say that I'm yet to be a king. And I like to be crowned from the kingdom of the universe, where creation, nature is, where people acquire their talents from, their skills from birth. It looks like, wow, this is special, and I think this sort of blessing comes from up above. It comes from the universe. It comes from the earth. It comes from, the support of humanity. That's the kind of king I want to be. I don't want to be the kind of king that somebody will call me for a tribe and say, come here, sit down, and I will wash your feet, and we would make you eat this, and now you make you a king. No man should try and make me a king. I'm okay. I'll make myself a prince, and I will get crowned from up above, and then from there, I will find a way to elevate myself.
Up above. What is it above? You've talked about the universe.
Yeah.
You talked about God. You talk about the power of the universe and everything. You have talked about up above. What is up above?
Well, I mean, look, we're human beings. And I don't see why. I thank you very much for even asking me this question and using this platform to explain this to humans. What is it that we think we can do out of the opportunity we've had through creation? We were in another human's womb for 9 months, and we were formed. We came here, and we've had the best of choices of life compared to monkeys and dogs who just have to sit there until you feed them. We travel to where we like. We wear the kind of clothes. We eat. We make money. We've got the best of this world. But the world is created of nature. And nature is full of human beings. And the human beings have built the world. These 3 things I believe in. And I don't know the creator physically. So I believe in spiritual religion, where there is an almighty power in the sun, in the moon, in the gold, in the sea, things that humans cannot create. We came to meet it. We're going to leave it. And money is one of them. So, that's what I see about life. I really respect life. But what I cherish the most out of life is time. Because time is what I have on my hands. And that's how I have to use it. If I want to be a president at 44 years old, please, you're not stopping me. Don't tell me to go and wait and come back 2032 because I'm young and I'm not listening to you. That's your problem. If you have a problem, go find your own solution. But it doesn't
Show some
interfere.
love, man. And on that note of time, is just man. And Cheddar, thank you very much. Just before the commercial break, we were talking about time.
Yeah.
And your value, the value that you place on time.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go back, because I've now seen some new masks about the new 6, and they are all masks. I don't know whether you have left clues enough for people to be able to point out, as like you said you did when you had your mask on. But I've seen that. Are you timing at a certain point for us to know who those new 6 are? Is that all part of that timing thing you're talking about?
So talking about timing, I think, this world is measured by numbers. Okay? We live daily, and everybody works around time. You wake up 8 o'clock. If you have a job, it's 8 to 6. You're back home. You sleep for 6 hours. You wake up, you do the same thing again, right? So time is an essential factor in life. And talking about the new 6, I like to share this code with the entire nation. The new 6 is basically telling you, the actual number that inspired me to get on this journey, which is 7. And that's the dream I had. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it was a dream. And it was like a chess or a game. And I was trying to get to 1, 2, 3. And then when I got to 3, it became harder, but I started to get blurry. I couldn't see properly. Then I got to the 4th one. Then now I was trying to get to 5th one. Then I went blind in the dream. My eyes and my sight shut off. And I said, no, I will use my mind to see how it looked like to try and get to 5, 6, 7. So I was using my brains in a dream trying to play with it, and then I got to the 5th one. Then I managed to get to the 6th one. Then all of a sudden an eye opened in my brain.
When you go to the
6th one, yes.
an eye opened your brain.
In my brain, so I was still blind.
What did you see when the eye opened?
Now I was like, I could see the game, but not through my eyesight. It was like something from my brain, because I was using my brain to do it. Then all of a sudden, there's an eye open in the brain, and then it was. So now I got to the 7th one, and it was very edgy, crazy, but I was so determined to do it. So as soon as I got to 7, I got my sight back. My eyes opened again. And when my eyes opened, there was this huge wooden door, tall and big. Then it started opening like this itself. So I said, wow, the 7 is opening the door. So I decided to walk to go and see what is in the door. When I got there, it was like clouds, just clouds, such a huge place. And then I looked and something said, wow. So the clouds is like you're in a plane and you can see clouds. And so something said, hey, if you enter, then you fall. And then something said to me in the dream, well, if you're going to fall where you're standing also, you can fall. So I just stepped in, and then the dream went away. My eyes open. It was 7 o'clock in the morning on the 7th of April. And that was the day I decided to start my movement to become a leader. So I think you forced me to tell you the dream, and this is new force. So it's fine. It's
So
new.
the 6 represent?
The 6 is 7.
The 6 is 7.
Yeah, it's a message. They didn't see it. There's 6 people behind the man. Number 7. And I am actually going to be voted on the 7th. But in what month? On the 12th month of the year. So I was already here. Jacob represents the 12th tribe. I was already telling you, I'm the prince. I'm coming. Freedom, Jacob, Caesar. So you see, 12, 12, 12. And when it's 12, the year changes. When it's 12, the day changes. When it's 12, tomorrow comes. So I am telling this world that numbers and names is very strong.
Do you believe in numerology?
I believe in it very much, because even the scripture says in the beginning was the word. And the word is written in numbers. And the word is measured by numbers. So the only way I can send my message to the people is by introducing quantitative verbalism. You need to quantify the words and the numbers, and before you can understand what is in the cheddar head, because most people think cheddar is cheese, but cheese is cheddar. You need to figure it out.
I'm listening to you, and I'm like, man, either you're so deep and so sharp, or just messed up. I mean,
Could be one of the two. But I always believe that, and this came from Steve Jobs. He said that the craziest people in this world that think they can change the world are likely the people that change the world. Because intelligence portrays the definition of insanity.
Intelligence
Portrays the definition of insanity.
insanity. Why?
Yes, because you kind of know too much that it becomes crazy. Okay? X1 fraction OTZ ZF. Give me the square. Exactly.
I am so clueless.
Exactly. So if somebody is supposed to find this for you, it's beyond sanity. And I think somebody is doing it very well right now in the world, and it's Elon Musk. He's calling his children X2 something, and I'm going to the space, and I'm giving you Tesla, and I forget the engine and petrol. You got to be...
So Cheddar, when you go on your campaign rounds, and you've been to many, many villages, talking and campaigning, the level that you're talking at, for this interview anyway, seems to be your beliefs, seems to be your understanding. How do you translate that when you're talking to the ordinary folk to understand? Because some of the things you're saying are so
It's above the average.
above the average.
Good. Why are we sitting here? Look at the tigers. They're with us. So I can even talk to animals. I can come down to their level. Wherever you put me, I survive. You take me to China, I will start saying, by the next week, I'm with them. You got to. That's leadership skills.
That's leadership
You
skills.
got to come down to their level. I want to talk to the monkey. I have to go and look for some bananas and make sure that they become my friend.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't have to show everybody that you're so wise. Some of this smartness, you need to keep it under your sleeve because it's your trick. And people always want to be wise, but they forget that what it takes to be wise, you need to simply understand what it takes to be stupid so you don't repeat stupidity, which means the two are very common. It's connected. Okay, so there are places you might want to act the fool, you know, just for the moment. And then they can underestimate you a little bit, which I think that's what I brought in the political game. You know,
You felt underestimated?
Yeah, it was like, okay, this is some kind of joke. Don't worry, it's gonna.
Okay.
And the number two chances, yeah, this all of that. But you know, all of things were coming. They didn't know that there were 12 pillars coming. You know, and it's a message for them. That look, this same Jacob with the 12 tribes is giving you 12 pillars of a broken city and country that you've built. I'm coming to rebuild it again. And guess what? I came in as a builder. I'm a developer. So when I say I'm going to build Ghana again, I mean it. I know what I'm talking about, and I'm sending the messages, but they're not hearing. You know, 12 pillars is a very strong value that I gave to the country, which is over $4.7 trillion of their own attributable reserves that they didn't know what to do with it. I brought it, okay, and giving them ideas of, you know, having a 16 regional industrial revolution by giving equity to the country, you know, and making sure that equality prevails, and through that you bring empowerment. So these are the 3 E's that I want to give to the country: equity, equality, and empowerment. And I had to build the 12 pillars, you know. So they never knew that I had those things under my sleeve coming. You know, they would have stopped it right from the beginning, because it actually exposes our national governance and the political agenda, which is not common raised. You know, it's not also implemented. It's obviously some sort of manifestos that they are giving to us. They're telling us and selling to us full of promises, but none of them are manifested or implemented. So I brought a simple thing that is not 120 pages or 500 pages of manifesto writings edited from someone else's country. This is built from home, you know, and this is where I show my intel in a very nice way, you know. But you don't expect the kind of kid that is wearing maybe a Dolce & Gabbana mixed with African clothes and screaming African prince and, you know, doing some Instagram stuff that, you know, you probably think this kid is not serious. But why did you underestimate me? Why did you think I'm not serious when I am creating wealth in your face, creating jobs and doing things that you haven't been able to do as a politician?
I think you have basically teaching people how they can create wealth. You are opening people's eyes to see that there is a lot of wealth in the land, you know, and telling them, you know, this is the wealth that we sit on that we must benefit from, you know. And it sounds like very simple, but some of the things you've talked about, as simple as they sound, sometimes the implementation, you know, 16 regional industrialization
revolution.
You know, yeah. You know, I'm thinking, yeah. I mean, for me, I know what industrialization is. So I'll appreciate any leader who's coming and says, I am aiming at industrialization.
Oh, it's too
I
late.
understand
It's
it.
too
And
late now. They had 32 years to do it.
They
never said it. So now that I have initiated it, I think.
Yeah. What my question is this: you've thrown it out there, and it's fantastic. And I'm saying, is it something to excite people, or for real? Because if you're talking about industrialization, 16 regions. You know, I just look at the example of maybe just Singapore that took 30 to 40 years to industrialize. How much time are you looking at industrializing 16 regions? Is it something that you're going to start off and leave leadership to take over? Or what is your own estimation of the time you're placing on reaching that
I think
pinnacle?
I think it's something that I'm going to start off and then let people do. Now, let's just look at creation as how it's described. Do you think if God single-handedly created all of us, we will be this many? You do something that it's an invention that people have to replicate, that there is a blueprint and then there is a template, and it becomes part of life, part of a purpose, and part of the reasons why we live. We have to live for something. Ghana needs to live for something. They just haven't found that something that creates wealth for them, that builds infrastructures for them, that makes them be able to afford for their health care when they need one, to pay for their education when they need one, to pay for their accommodation when they need one. The three most pending problems in Ghana. And then the one most demanded needs in Ghana is jobs. So whatever infrastructure or foundation one is able to build now, they don't have to do it for 20 years to fix it for everybody. Everyone starts to go through that pipeline and that loophole. You just need to create it. But I think our leaders haven't. They have been very much concentrating on their parties and which of the parties are going to win. Standing or sitting here and having this conversation with you, when I look at the campaign and I look at the opponents and study what they're doing, it's like they're fighting each other. And I ask myself, is this about fighting each other or is it about fighting for the people? So that makes me feel like, okay, these guys are confused. They're definitely confused about what they call politics. I don't understand that sort of politics. I think it's about the nation. I think it's about the country. So if you want to do something to add value to humanity, then you have to go ahead and truly do it. But you can't do it just in Accra. If you were chosen as a leader of this country, and then you watch one side of the country developing and being congested, and the other sides are being invaded, and then you call yourself a leader. I'm sorry, I don't call this a leader. That's not leadership.
What do you call it?
Well, I call it maybe an extractor or the scammer that they call me. Maybe they should try and find the right person to label it on. Because again, also that makes me feel like the young people and some of these people in this country are demonstrating cowardness. You need to be able to point the finger if you want to use your finger. Okay? And don't just go take money and start saying things. But for me, anyone that would develop one side of a country and trade the rest of the country and not have any solution for the rest of the country, it's actually destroying the people and destroying the country. And that's what our populace is saying to Ghanaians, that you have all of this wealth in the country that can create 8 million and over jobs and will build you $4.5 trillion. You would never have to borrow money from any financial institution from outside. In fact, we can borrow the world money.
Cheddar, and that's exactly what I'm saying. The thinking and the dream, let me call it so, it's fantastic. Something that every normal person should buy into, that we're going to industrialize 16 regions in Ghana, blah, 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 blah. I think the only question I have is that, what is the breakdown like? Where do you start?
So first of all, you start by sourcing funds or raising funds, and then you have plans. See, time goes better with planning. Okay? It doesn't work well with expectations. Okay? If you expect too much with your time, you end up with very little. But if you plan with your time, you end up with more. So we are starting from somewhere. And let's just say Ghana has a budget. The parliament and everybody together. Maybe we start a budget of 11.2 billion is the beginning of the year. That's our coffers. Okay? I'm just giving you a very simple scenario.
Do we have that much?
Oh, you have to. If you don't have money, you can't survive at all.
We are broke.
Well, you're broke.
This is a broke country.
No, you're broke because of how you financially manage your assets.
Unfortunately, because of how we have managed it, it has left us now broke. So we are starting from a position of broke. That's what I'm saying.
Minus, but
minus.
Yes, but
Thank you for the word.
Yeah, you being minus and being a businessman and being an entrepreneur, a visionary, an industrialist, it doesn't trouble you. It doesn't make you broke. That's what the book says. But the mind does not say that. Elon Musk not long ago was minus. He was minus. Okay, everyone, they said, oh, you can't do what you're saying. It's not going to work. Because you have to plan, you have to create, you have to invest.
Yeah. No, I agree with all of that. But I think it's easier when you are planning where there's a system and where there are certain specific things you can tap into. So even though you say you are starting from zero, at least you have some benchmarks of things you can tap into.
I guess, of course, I do. But, and look, first of all, we're a country. Just our electricity bills that the country pays, an average of 200 raises 8 billion. An average of 200 cities raises 8 billion in a month. Cities. And then if you look at the industrial side, okay, you raise about 4.8 billion. That makes it 12.8 billion. Almost $1 billion of you collecting from the society that dwell on this land. You have this times 25. These are all governmental institutions. So the main thing is, the main problem in this country is that people just take the money and share it amongst themselves and don't invest it. But don't think money is even like a tree that if you don't water it, it will manage to bear you fruit. But that's because there's water coming from up above. Okay? If you don't invest the money and you share it, it will go. It will always go and will not come back. If you pay salary to 1 million people and you don't find out what that 1 million people amount to in terms of returns, in less than 8 months, you have to go and borrow money to come and pay them. And they will sit there and they will look at you. You want them 8 to 6, they will come. They will come and sit there and look at you. And they'll get up and go, and at the end of the month, they'll tell you, pay me. Because you know why? You're paying them for their time. Just sitting there. So you need to plan to use them. And I think Ghana is not using the people right. Because what do you need 100 ministries for? Come on. If I cut it down to 12, that's minus 88. That 88 alone, I'm probably saving $55 million every 2 months for this country. $55 million. If I put the $55 million to 5 companies in this world and tell them, every one of you build me a plant, 2 plants, I will order Germany, I will order China, I will order England, I will order about 6 top countries. All of them will be working for Ghana. They will be building the plant. You know why? Because I'm not spending the money, I am investing the money. What Ghanaians don't understand.
And you have had access to the money by a massive cut down.
Cut down is very important, okay?
Yeah.
But what Ghanaians don't understand is that, why do you choose a leader that knows how to spend money? He's only here to spend it. He's going to find a judgment debt and say, I use the money to pay. He's going to say that I gave a contract to some contractor that is his own uncle's son, and then use the money to pay, and they're doing the roads. What is the road doing? I mean, what are you moving gold on it? Are you moving bauxite on it? Are you making some money with it? That's when you invest, okay? Because that's what would expand the road. So if Ghanaians don't get an investor, someone with an investor's mind, and they just have lawyers and doctors leading them when they're supposed to be in a hospital operating, and they're supposed to be sitting in the office so someone can pay them so they write a contract, and they tell them to build a country, please, they're not going to be able to do it. It is time that we accept as a nation that we need a leader that is business minded, that is social friendly, that understand people's needs and understand how to invest and develop. If you don't do that, I'm telling you, you might be a voter, but you're not making the best use of your thumb. You need to be able to know that your thumb and your voice contributes to their success of your country or the development of your country. And you need to know that it's not a preference of a party or of a leader. It's the choice of what sort of demands and needs that a country wants, and you being able to provide that. I strongly think that these things were lacking in the country. And
So it boils down to leadership.
I'm not scared to say it. Like, look, you're using doctors trying to, trying to build things when they're supposed. I don't know the lawyers that and for me, I don't believe so much in labels and titles. You can simply call me Freedom or Nana Kwame Bediako. You don't have to add doctor. Okay, I'll take Osajifo. Means I came to save you. It's fine. But people are so into that. I've got a degree from Harvard, and I'm Dr. So and so, and Professor. And so what? What did you do with it?
I studied at Yale.
I studied at Yale.
Ivy League.
Ivy League. Okay. Yeah, your friends, I got them in America, and they're working on some Google something, and they've made $50 million, and they live in Beverly Hills, and you are here, fronting with your degree. Well, I want to tell Ghanaians, I have been to the best university, and that's the University of Life, and I've acquired 36 degrees from the University of Life. I am very incorporated, socially royal, critically acclaimed, a nest, your nest leader. You like it or not, I am coming for the position, because when life crowns you, you're not like when just some political party crowning you.
Yeah, life has crowned you.
Life has crowned me. The universe is the force behind me, you see. So, and that's the kind of talk that made you feel the craziness in me, and it's real. It's Einstein once said that the definition of life is insanity. You will be stupid trying to define it, because you come to serve something that you just die eventually. And we don't know what our soul or our spirit does after, unless we die. Okay, so it's really craziness. Therefore,
what if I say I knew?
Well, that's you. That's you. I always.
I'm only joking anyway. But let's move on. You are sort of gingering the youth, energizing the youth.
Energizing. That's the right word. I'll take that one.
Yeah, you're sort of energizing the youth. What is the three most powerful key things you think you want to tell the youth right now? Where's this camera? This one. So I want you to.
Well, I think, first of all, I want to tell the youth that no matter what you do not sell your soul. Do not let somebody just give you some money so they tell you to destroy someone, lie, this, that. It's selling your soul. You can never come out of that. You will forever be used. And learn to appreciate greatness. Because the greatest people were not born great. They grew great. And they got that from appreciating greatness. So most of you want to be somewhere, but that is the simple path you need to take to be somewhere. Don't let anyone gas you. Like, people say a lot of things about me and I never respond. And I tell you today why I don't respond to people. Because I never let what people say determine my moralities. I don't care. You have a problem with me, then you have found a problem. Go find your own solution. I'm not working for you. It's your own problem. And that's why most people that are paid by politicians to insult me have ended up in America, England, or Germany. They're hiding because they're cowards. But when you ever see that I am here and sitting on a throne, any American or German that will be stuck in this country that they will want them back, I will exchange them for you. So you can come back and apologize to all the people you've insulted, because you're a coward. And this is the platform I've chose to tell you this. And I want the rest of the youth not to be like the ones that I'm mentioning. They know themselves. You're in within, you're plotted. And I don't stand for that. I don't stand for somebody paying someone some sort of money and then they say, hey, go and do this demonstration. And then they say, because you stand for the youth, come and join us. No, your money is too small for cheddar. Cheddar is money. No money buys me here. Okay, I have wisdom, and wisdom is bigger than money. I want the youth to understand this. And lastly, I want you to know that I'm doing this for you, but also I'm doing it for the unborn seeds and the unborn children of this nation. So if you don't like it, it's okay. You can step aside, and like what you like. I have no problem. But for me, I'm going. And I'm going towards my destiny. And my destiny is for my legacy to be prevailed. And it's for my history to be written. I'm not here to tell it. I'm only dictating it to you. You guys should tell the history. When I'm not here, I want my absence to be felt. I want to be remembered. And I want to be known for what I did for society.
Show some love, man. Show some love. Show some love. Cheddar. It's. I'm trying to find a word that is most
Can I
suitable.
pause you for a minute?
Yeah.
I want you to see how long my tiger has been sitting down listening. Now he's falling asleep. The other one is gone. They've all great words can even put tigers to sleep. Guys, can you show it now? They have all I've given them great stories and they're now sitting down saying that, what kind of thing is this? I just ate, swam, and then now Kakokwan's stories that tell me about the universe and the world. Now you see, they're sleeping, but anyway, go on.
Cheddar, what about that one?
See, if I was your son, at least on a very bad day, I'll make you laugh.
Oh, yeah.
I will relieve you from that problem of the day. Like you go and someone mess you up, a bad interview, and you came home, then I'll just make you laugh.
That's it.
That's
it. So, Cheddar, we are wrapping up, and it's good sitting down with you one-on-one, listening to you, What I'm walking away with is this. I don't know about you becoming president by next week, Monday, though. You seem to believe that can be done?
I never thought I would be so successful. I'm not the kind of person, like I said, I don't exchange time for expectations. I don't expect things. I just work towards things. And so whatever comes is part of the two best things I believe in terms of dealing with human beings. If I don't surprise you, I confuse you. If I can't confuse you, I just surprise you. So it's one of the two. And
so
I think I will leave everybody in a suspense.
Either surprised or confused.
Yeah,
One message that if I don't deliver, I probably can't go to my sister anymore. I have a sister living in Dansuma, and I'm sure she's watching and listening very carefully. She will be 80 in January. And it says I should give her a message. Say, Ope wasempa.
I love people in general. Like, there's this side of me, right, KSM? Like, I think Ghanaians don't know this about me. I love every single Ghanaian. In fact, I love every single black skin race and go further to even other skins. Depending how they meet me, how they embrace me, how they appreciate me. Because I think I was born a humanitarian philanthropist, and it's just my path that I'm on. So the president is not such a big thing for me, but the purpose of being a humanitarian philanthropist and be able to create more of philanthropical foundations that will sustain humanity makes me feel like I'm doing what I'm here to do, and it starts with love. It starts with just respecting people and loving them. It's just people just decide to say whatever, even if they've never met you or know you. Sometimes they become jealous because of who you are. I don't believe in who you are. I believe in who you're becoming, because I never know how you end up. Okay. And so loving people has been a part of my entire mission. And I want to say today to Ghanaians that I will never ask their permission to love them. I'm doing what I'm doing because truly I love them. I love my country and I love my people. Okay, so I'm not going to ask them permission. And I will also not need their consent to make this country a better place. A lot of people, I hear some comments and people say, well, we have to vote you or we have to do this. Or I'm just saying that for me to be doing what I'm doing, I won't come to ask them for their consent first before I do it. I will do it, work hard, put in my all, and the returns, whatever comes, is for us. It's not just for me, it's for us, because we
Put your hands together, man. Cheddar, thank you so much for this conversation right in front of your lions who have been charmed.
Tigers. When I finish, they will wake up.
When you finish, they wake up.
He's up. He's listening, but you see that he's closed his eyes again. But they're good.
Dodo, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you, and I've listened to you, and I've sort of grown to know you a bit better, you know, and let's see what happens.
Sure. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, please do.
I mean, you've been doing this for almost a little bit over 2 decades. And I think the media world is a place where, you know, people have ears and eyes too. You know, what do you want for Ghana? What do you want for Ghana? Because, you know, I speak to people and they're very dominated by something, some kind of organization or institution, you know, but they pretend that they're not. And I'm asking this question because from the way you answer it, I will know. I will know where you belong, if it's about a change or if it's about a change within parties, you know. So I want to know what is it that you want for Ghana? And
No, I think I've made it so clear so many times. I'm obsessed with Ghana. And the only key thing in my mind when I wake up, when I go to sleep, nation building. How can we build this nation? I know what we have. You know, so that's why sometimes I say there are things that you say that I can relate to. You know, I know what we have, and it's a pity where we are considering what we have. Is that enough?
yeah, now I feel like I'm your son.
You are? Just enough for my son, man.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, it's been a great time hanging out with my son. And until we come back next week, take a look at the sleeping lions and enjoy the scenario. By the way, we are talking to you from Achimota Zoo. Inside Achimota Zoo, Cheddar.
Achimota Forest.
Hey, sorry. Inside Achimota Forest, Cheddar has a zoo here. So come check it out. So in the meantime, in between time, until we all get together again, and until December 7th, that number 7th day, KSM signing off.
7/12.
7/12.
12.
7/12. KSM signing
Number
off.
12 on the ballot. Number
Yes.
12 with the pillars.
Okay.
Number 12 with the ministers. And the 7 people which represent the new 6. So 7/12. Get it?
I
the
get
code.
it. So why don't you sign for me? Have you ever seen me sign off? And I hear me actually. You on my show. This guy was my guest long ago. He was a small boy, Bio. He just reminded me. I said, "Oh, really? Cheddar, why am I guest by?" That mean long ago, right?
Oh, since that time, maybe I was cheese. Until now that I matured to be cheddar, no, so maybe.
But I've been lost in transit.
Mama said we refuse.
So. Catch me.
No
Yeah, we have earned the right to forget.
matter.
It's a right we have earned. Who refuse me before? But me refuse out yes. Show some love, man. Until we come back, KSM standing up saying we are out of. Let the whole world say yeah.
Ano kwamo mienka na awodi nipa pina ekwa tete mu pao amani pampempema wale agu odia sampa spiritual and herbal center awo wo mo yade se wo mbe mu wanya basisi a yade bi tise stroke gonorrhea anabama waye mre e wampamu low sperm count wo mo wanu aduro tatahwe ene je sam se sabane sunsumu nsama wo mo tenete se ye sunsumu aware anasa yare bi ne yade amawo pampabone anabo ana wanya abai amane e court case wo betu charge osisi a enam omadwuma panti ni pampempem ene befo mu kofie ekoye sunsumu nyuma edemom samosini ene enzimani akabom dia sunsumu niama asie betu obi aje wukunu anasa woyere awaresem adwuma sam akwantuom nsam ni nyina ayasumasem father dan odia sampa spiritual and herbal center obehuyan of
New Kufuridia ejoso ne konongo infinfin aye Ashanti region. Ehon ma number aye didi juma no aye 054 330 4976 and I say 020 134 0421 054 330 4976 and I say 020 134 0421.
And Odia Sampa Spiritual and Herbal Center. You be do us some amount.